It is my pleasure to also welcome you today in the Presidential Palace. Over the past 54 days, my government started a wide range of policies and measures to cope with several crises. Indeed, we have the enormous task of dealing with the legacies of the past, which led to the current economic crisis, massively impacting growth and employment, a financial crisis with very wide current account and fiscal deficits, a soaring public and private debt, and a currency crisis that is severely limiting depositors' access to their hard-earned money. Due to this quote-unquote perfect storm, the Lebanese went to the streets on October 2019, calling for the end of corruption, bad management, and lack of transparency. I said from day one that I heard their complaints and that I will act accordingly. As if the situation was not already extremely complex, the COVID-19 pandemic added further financial, economic, social, and health problems. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the tremendous challenges that we are facing will by no means discourage my government to properly assess the situation and act forcefully to gradually secure a bright future for the Lebanese people, especially that they will have to go through very difficult times until the proper reforms are implemented. My government, assisted by experts, is finalizing a full-fledged plan that deals with economic, financial, currency, social, and governance reforms that are badly needed. We know what should be done, and we have the will to do it. It is just not acceptable to inflict hardship on the Lebanese population without giving them the best options for a prompt reboot of the economy and for the possibility to recover at least a big share of their losses. It would be unfair to see our population suffer without having a serious program that provides hope, hold bad actors accountable, and rigorously seek recovery of stolen assets and money. Within those 54 days, my government had to take the very historical, difficult decision of suspending the payment of the Eurobonds after lengthy and complicated assessment of the various options, and I am somehow glad that we positioned ourselves on a good faith negotiation track and that all of you expressed your support to this wise step. After this important move, we have chosen our financial and legal advisors and started working around the clock with them on various fronts. My government also spent long hours studying a big number of options to exit the crisis as quickly and as fairly as possible. We came to the conclusion that Lebanon needed to restructure its debt in both currencies, US dollars and Lebanese pounds, to be able to reach sustainable levels of debt to GDP in the coming years, such a ratio that would include all external financial support as well as the SADR pledged funds. We also pledged to undergo a full program to promote the reshaping of the banking sector and the central bank's balance sheet. Our economic diagnostic was based on the thorough analysis that my government and its team of advisors and experts conducted with regards to the losses that have accumulated over the years in the system. Let me also highlight the fact that His Excellency President Aoun and my government decided to perform an audit of the central bank's accounts to make good on our promise of transparency and strengthen our negotiation position in this difficult period of Lebanon's history. My government also engaged with international institutions and gathered support from them to face the various crises in an effort to regain the confidence of the international community. In this regard, we formed joint teams with the World Bank to assess the monetary and financial situation, as well as the social, the fiscal, and the economic matters. I take the opportunity to thank the World Bank's team for this impressive availability and readiness to help. As for the IMF, we had a visiting mission which triggered a constructive dialogue, followed by well-focused technical support issues, including capital control mechanism, following my conversation with Managing Director Georgieva. Accordingly, we will soon ask our multilateral counterparts to react to Lebanon's plan to bridge gaps between our positions. The Ministry of Finance is also talking to all our multilateral and bilateral partners on a regular basis to update them on current matters and listen to their comments. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my government's plan will be available soon, which we are currently finalizing. We have been working relentlessly to find the right balance between what is fair and humane to our population and what is acceptable on the framework of the international community. No doubt you have interest in Lebanon, and Lebanon needs your support, especially that we have a large gap to fill. We are committed to fill it as much as possible through our reforms agenda and through the recovery of ill-gotten assets, and we are hoping that you will support us accordingly with a proper level of external funds despite the very difficult international situation. We came a long way in terms of convincing the Lebanese that tough choices are needed in various areas, and it would be fair in return to hope for your support in thinking outside the box to find ways that would reduce the hardship of a population that has been suffering for nearly half a century. Finally, I would like to emphasize that our government will deal with the Lebanese people and yourselves with high levels of transparency. We have already showed a great deal of seriousness and clarity in assessing our situation, as shown in the Investors' Conference held by the Ministry of Finance, for which we received very positive feedback, mainly for the accuracy of the diagnostic. We will continue to tell the Lebanese the truth as part of our legitimacy and rely on their support despite the difficult short period of time ahead. And we will rely on your capacity of mobilization to support us at the boards of the institutions in allocating financial resources, supporting our quest for the recovery of Lebanon's assets, and for your positive feedback throughout the reform process in order to bring Lebanon back to sustainable growth and prosperity in a stable context and on the shortest possible period of time. It is worth mentioning here that out of the total reforms pledged by the government during the first 100 days, 57% are completed and sent to the Parliament. Thank you, Mr. President.